Good evening, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today we're back on the same yard that I mowed. I guess 3 days ago. We had about 340 cows in this yard overnight, and there's about 4 acres, counting everything back over to that woods line. And we had the pond fenced off where they couldn't get in it. The people wanted to see what it looked like after the cows got done. And so, you know, they did a pretty good job of weed eating around those rocks. And they went in around that little neck right there and see where they couldn't go, how tall the grass is on the side of that fence. Yeah, I mean, they did a number on it. But, you know, it rained 1.3 inches the morning of that we put them in here. And so I was a little bit skeptical at first. I thought, well, you know, they might make a few divots, but you know, it just doesn't look that bad. It just doesn't look that bad. Of course, you know, the landowner's going to be happy that they didn't get in the pond. Okay, look how beautiful that water is. That's the way all your ponds should look, folks. They shouldn't be dingy looking. These look pretty and clean and blue. That's good. That's good high quality water for fishing. And this guy likes to fish, and I do too. But look at this. I mean, they just mowed it. They absolutely mowed it. Everywhere you look, it's just gone. But you know, you put 340 animals in here, that's a lot of mouths, you know, chomping on stuff. And the only part they didn't eat would be the part underneath that manure pad. Okay, they probably didn't eat that. But I wanted to show y'all. I zeroed in on it from a distance the other evening. There's a black locust tree over here that we cut down. It was going to fall into this shed, and so we cut it down last fall, and I don't think we painted the stump, as you can tell. But look what happened. So that was a forest. You couldn't see through it. And the cattle came in here. Now, they didn't get into the meat of it. They sure worked on the edges. I mean, you couldn't see through that stuff a while ago before I turned them in here. The single trees, it seemed like they worked on, or the single sprouts, they worked on those a little better. Those over there. There's still a ton of sprouts here, but you know, I got some grazing out of those leaves, and come in here and lop those dudes off because they're right here in this front yard. And see, the honey locust, the black locust, they've got some pretty good defense mechanisms in there. And so when the cow reaches in there to eat that, her tongue's got to be aware of that. Okay? That's called the anti-grazing mechanism for the plant. Like, if you graze me, I'm going to stick you. Okay? But the cow still went in there and grazed it. I mean, look at the tips. They got the tips. And their tongue started getting stuck. They backed out of there. Okay? Now, I wanted to show y'all something. I know the landowner wanted us to get more impact on the back of this dam, because it is grown up back there. I mean, it's just a forest. But I want to show y'all something, and I want you to remember this. This is kind of important. All grass is not grass. What I mean by that, some people go, oh my God, boy, that bass! Wow, whoa, golly, I need to go get my fishing pole. My God, that was a big, big, big bass. Look at all the bluegill. Little bluegill, you better get going. The bass gonna eat you. Wow, there's some pretty good bass in here. Oh, look at the nest. See, that's the nest where they laid their eggs. Okay? The fish lay their eggs and then they take their tails and they fan it to keep the dust and the dirt, not dust, but dirt, from settling in on the eggs until they hatch. And they defend that nest. If anything comes in around it, they're going to attack it. Including you, if you drag a lure through there, especially a worm, a plastic worm, they will attack it. My gosh, look at all the fish in here. Okay, let's get back to grazing. All grass is not grass, and what I mean by that is this is a forest. And so what happened, folks, is this grass got really tall in here. And look on the back. I mean, it goes all the way down there to that road. You can't hardly walk through that down there. And so just because it's tall and lush, or it looks kind of lush, it's not. It's rank. It's tall, it's over mature, and you're going to make cows eat that. Well, I've locked them in there. I think I put 300 head on the back of this dam one night. I left them in there for 10 minutes, and they absolutely trampled that. And you can do that. I didn't want to do that the other night because we had that 2-inch rain. I was afraid they would. There's kind of a wet spot down there where those willows are. I was afraid they'd just destroy the dam. But back to the tall grass. Your cows are live, breathing animals. If you want really good performance, you can't make them eat wood. And that's what these are. These are kind of woody plants because they're over mature. Yeah, you can make them eat them, but they're not going to do that well on it. And you want your calves to gain weight. You don't want your calves to get sick. You want the cow to breed back. And she can't do that if you feed her this stuff every day. Okay? She's got to have more of this stuff, the tender. Look what they did up here. They nailed it. They ate everything that wasn't protected by the wire. Of course, they couldn't get into the water. But they did not go down in there. I sure as heck could have forced them in there. Again, you can do that for short periods of time. But I get this a lot. People say, well, I've got a lot of grass out there. Cows ought to do good. Hasn't been anything grazing it all summer. Well, there's a red flag. If you haven't grazed your grass all summer long, and you're going to try and winter cows on that, it's going to be very, very, very low feed quality. It's going to have a very low digestible nutrients to it. It's because it's too woody. Okay, it's too mature. It doesn't have any palatability left to it. And so your cows are going to suffer. You're trying to winter them on grass that hasn't been grazed at least once or twice through the summer. Preferably in Missouri, you know, we're going around our farms 4 to 5 times in the growing season. And the plants are doing well. The cows are doing well. We're not feeding them wood. Okay? You can't expect a cow to give milk to the calf, breed back, and get fat for winter when you're feeding her immature forage all summer long or in the fall. So be careful, folks. If you've got some really tall stuff out there, here we are in the Midwest, middle of September. It's getting kind of late, but I'd still mow it off maybe 12 inches high just so you get some regrowth on it. It's going to make it a lot better winter stockpile than trying to feed them a whole forest of wood. Wood, that's what you're feeding them. They're not going to do real well on it. Anyway, this is Greg Judy here at Green Pastures Farm, examining the mowed yard with the cows, the fertilizer pads. Check that out. Okay, look at this. I mean, you talk about fertilizer. Fertilizer. It's everywhere. Free fertilizer, didn't cost me anything. That looks kind of rough right there, but I'll tell you what, that stuff's going to grow like crazy. The landowner's going to have to get a bigger mower because this stuff's going to grow like mad now. We just made the grass mad. It's going to take off. It's got all the fertility. It's been animal impact on it, and it's going to get 60 days rest. Look out. Folks, this is Greg Judy signing off. Everyone have a great one.